Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi and a very good day to all my beloved student. Okay, welcome back to my fun physics world. Today we look at Melaka paper 3 question number 2. Okay, Melaka 2020. Alright, so for KSSM student, you also can watch this. So to analyze graph, so this is actually what you learn in Form 4, subtopic 1.2, scientific investigation. Alright, so it means that Form 4 student, KSSM, Form 5, KSSM also can watch this as revision. Alright. Okay, so this question actually come from chapter wave. So this is, if you look at the diagram, okay, so you know that this is interference of sound. Okay, so means that this is under chapter 5, form 4, KSSM. Alright, now look at the question. So a student carries out an experiment to study the relationship between distance between two consecutive loud sound X and the distance between two loudspeaker X. So the distance between loudspeakers and the location where the sound is detected, D, capital D, is 5 meter. Okay, look at the diagram. Okay, so now the distance between two loudspeaker, they label it as A, and then the distance between two consecutive berturutan, two consecutive loud sound is X. And then the distance between loudspeaker and where the sound is observed, so this is 5 meter. So they label just now as D. Okay, so D is 5 meter. Okay, look at the question. So the student then plot graph of X against 1 over 1A. Okay, X against 1 over A as shown in the diagram. So based on the graph, number 1, need to state the relationship between X and A. Then after that, calculate the value of X if A is 2 meter. Okay, so look at this. So this is graph of X against 1 over A. Okay, I show you the graph. Okay, so look at the vertical axis is X. Then the horizontal axis is 1 over A. Okay, so you can see that the graph is a straight line graph from origin. Okay, like that. Okay, so the first question asking, state the relationship between X and A. Alright, so when you write, when the graph is starting from origin, a straight line graph from origin, so we know the relationship will be directly proportional. So we write X is directly proportional to, look at the axis, salin this one, 1 over A. So the answer that we accept is, okay, like that. So X is directly proportional to 1 over A, like this. Oh, okay. This one. X is directly proportional to 1 over A. This is correct. And then another one will be, since the graph is, you see, X against 1 over A and a directly proportional like that. Okay, so here they ask about X and A, right? So it is correct if you write X is directly proportional to, salin this one, 1 over A. Okay, betul lah, sebab grafnya memang the graph is here, 1 over A. Then it is also correct if you write the relationship as inversely proportional to A. This one pun betul sebab this is A. So, okay, cikgu explain lebih lah for Form 4 student. So, the vertical axis is X just now. Horizontal axis is 1 over A. And the graph start from origin like that. Okay. So, if let's say we use the same data to plot the graph, but we plot graph of X against A, so you will get like this. Alright, so it means that we can also write the answer as x is inversely proportional to a. So it means that this is also correct. So it means that this question have two answer. Okay, it's either x is inversely proportional to a, or you can also write x is directly proportional to 1 over a. Both correct. Okay, dua-dua betul lah. Alright, next one. This is also correct just now. So next one, calculate the value of x if a is 2 meter. Okay, so the marks is given is 3 marks. So the first mark will be, since our graph is against 1 over a, right? Our graph is like this. So they asked to determine x when a is 2 meter. So the first step is for you to change from a 2 meter, okay, get the value of 1 over a, because your graph is 1 over a, horizontal axis. Okay, show this and then get your answer. So this is the first tip. Okay, it's good to have the unit behind. Okay, I don't say this is compulsory, but it's good to have this unit. Okay, because A is in meter, so 1 over A will be per meter. Then the second mark will be from in the graph. Okay, in the graph. Okay, so in the graph, you need to look at 1 over A axis. Okay, so 0.5 is here. So this is 0.5. Show on the graph how you get the value of x. The vertical axis is x. Okay, so good to label like this. Okay, dotted line and then put arrow. So the method here, when you draw this, so this is your second mark, markah kedua. Okay, you can also do like this. Okay, but it's good to tandakan here and then write your value. Okay, so this is also correct. Okay, what is the value here just now? It is 1.25. Okay, 1.25. You look at the unit, look at the axis. Here, 1.25 meter. So the answer that we accept is 1.25 meter. So this is mark number 3. Okay, this one just now is mark number 1. And then in the graph is mark number 2. So this student get 3 marks. Is it clear? And then when you write your answer, the final answer must have unit. Okay, must have unit. Okay, look at this. Alright, so this student already calculate 1 over A correctly. So here, if you want to get A plus for your physics, the unit is very important. It's good to write A salin, salin this one. So like that. Okay, then the answer here, you add in the unit. Okay, so although you don't write unit here, we still can give you mark number 1. And then from the graph, you see, just now, the answer is 1.25, right? But this student write 1.5 meter. Come, we look at how she plot the graph. So here betul, this part correct. So can see, this one memang dah label lah. So means that this is mark number 2. And then the answer here, I don't know why, careless mistake. So this is in between 1.0 and 1.25. But the student just now write 1.5. Okay, so mark number 2 dapat. Now mark number 3 need to be written in the column provided here. So this one salah. So this is cross 3. So means that this student get 2 marks. Okay, so need to be careful when you record your answer. Tengok betul-betul, especially the unit, jangan salah. Okay, next question. Determine the gradient of graph. Gradient. So gradient, okay, will be always, the formula will be like this. Let's say we have vertical axis y, horizontal axis x. Okay, so let's say the graph is like that. So to determine the gradient, it should be the changes in the vertical axis. Okay, means that changes in the vertical axis divided by changes in the horizontal axis, x. So here they don't give any symbol, but let's say I'm using m for gradient. So the formula of gradient will be changes in the y-axis divided by changes in the x-axis. Now, the marks for the gradient is always 3 marks. So the first mark will be for the triangle that you draw on your graph. Draw as big as possible triangle that you can. They have minimum value. Later I show you. And then tick number 2 will be the substitute value in the formula. Okay, need to be written in this column. Okay, the column provided. And then mark number 3 will be for the final answer plus unit. Okay, so mesti ada final answer and unit plus unit if got unit. Okay, so the gradient will have unit if the two axes have different physical quantity. Okay, so if let's say the vertical axis have same physical quantity, so it means that let's say y is length, let's say meter, x also meter, so it means that the gradient will have no unit. Okay, but let's say y is in meter, horizontal axis is in seconds, so the unit become meter per second. All right, so this unit is compulsory written if it has. Okay, look at the answer. Okay, so when you want to calculate your gradient, so the first mark will be given for your triangle. So draw big triangle in your graph. Okay, so this triangle is accepted. You can also draw triangle from here, okay, until down here pun boleh. Okay, for me, I will prefer to draw like this. Easy to get the reading sampai bawah here. Okay, but just follow here. So my student here draw. Okay, is this a minimum size triangle? So we count. So here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the vertical 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so at least you have 4 times 5 of this square. Okay, for your triangle, it can be count from here 4 up 5 also can. Okay, yang penting size triangle mesti lebih besar atau at least sama dengan 4 times 5 square. Alright, and don't forget to put 90 degree here. It's good to put 90 degree here. And then if you can add in triangle changes in the vertical axis and changes in the horizontal axis symbol here, even better. Okay, so now we don't use x and y because the horizontal axis is 1 over a, so we use 1 over a symbol. And then the vertical axis for this graph is x, so we use x. Okay, so this triangle is 1 mark. Then in the column provided, okay, you need to substitute the value. In order to make sure you are not making any careless mistake, it's good to label the coordinate. Okay, so the coordinate for this point is 1.2, 3.05. Okay, and then this point, the coordinate is 0.2, 0.5. Okay, so this coordinate. Then from that coordinate, you can substitute the value. There? No, down here. Okay, so just now we have coordinate of 0, 1.2, 3.05, and then the other coordinate is 0.2, 0.5. Right, so the changes in the y-axis will be 3.05 minus 0.5 here. Okay, this is correct. And then for the horizontal axis will be 1.2 minus 0.5. So this one is using formula of y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Alright, so this is mark number 2. And then tekan calculator, your final answer with correct unit will be mark number 3. Now, is the unit meter square? Right, is the unit betul-betul meter square? Now look at the axis. So the vertical axis is meter, horizontal axis is per meter. So if you can counter check, so the vertical axis meter, horizontal axis is per meter. Kan? Meter, and then horizontal axis per meter. So the unit for gradient will be per meter. 1 here, bukan 2. So means that you can bring -1 up. So it become M, bawah atas, it become M times M kan. So this is M square. Betulkah? Correct or not? Yes. Now this is correct. Mark number 3. So get 3 marks. Clear? And then another method, okay, look at this. So this is easier. Look at the triangle. So this student pull from this point. Okay, this point, tarik sampai bawah here, right? And then tandakan the 90 degree. So I know that this is the triangle that she used. So count boleh kira 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then atas 1, 2, 3, 4. So it means that the size of the triangle is good enough. Okay, so get tick 1. Okay, and then it's good to label just now as I told. Vertical axis is X, horizontal axis is 1 over A. Baguslah label like that. Then the coordinate here is 0, 0. Then look at her answer, 1.2, 1.23 kan? Like that. See, although the second point that is used is 0, 0, still need to write here. Okay, so this is your mark number 2. And the final answer, tekan calculator, correct unit, this is mark number 3. Now, what if the student write like this? Gradient sama dengan 3.0 divided by 1.2. Will she get mark number 2 or not? If like this, she will not get mark number 2. Why? Because we consider this as just using the point. I don't see any changes in the y or vertical or horizontal axis. So mesti tunjuk u minus 0. Okay, mesti tolak 0. It's good to do like this because this have one decimal place. Okay, like that. Okay, so mesti tunjuk tolak kosong. Then you can get tick number 2. Alright. So hopefully boleh faham. Okay, B. Using the value of the gradient that you obtained in the previous question and the equation, they give you the equation lambda equal to ax over d. So calculate the wavelength for the sound wave lambda used in this experiment. Okay, so the task now is to use the gradient and the equation. Okay, so you need to use the gradient and the equation to determine lambda. So the marks given here is 4 marks. Alright, so how to answer this? So it means that you need to relate the equation to the gradient first. That will be mark number 1. Then substitute value. Then the fourth mark will be for the calculation. And then the third mark will be something to do with the substitute value also. Okay, and then of course your final answer must have unit. Alright, now look at this. So we know that just now our graph is still a graph of x against 1 over a. So the gradient will be changes in the y-axis, which is x divided by the horizontal axis. So from here we know that the gradient is x divided by 1 over a. And you can bring 1 over a up, so, kan x bahagi dengan 1 over a. So times like this one boleh tukar, right? So become x darab a. So it become ax. Like this. So when you are able to show this is actually the first mark where you are able to relate gradient and the formula. Relate the gradient, okay, and the formula, right? From here, this is the first mark. Okay, and the mark number 2 is here. You okay, the gradient ax. Kan this is the formula given. Lambda equal to ax. So here boleh tulis lambda equal to gradient. Is that gradient divided by d. Since already mentioned here, so we can accept this as mark number here as mark number 1. Here mark number 1, sorry, this is mark number 2. Okay, substitute the value because the gradient just now is 2.55. Okay, masuk nilai. And then where to get D? D is from the question. They give earlier D is equal to 5. Okay, so mark number 2. And then mark number 3, also here lah. Also here. Okay, mark number 3 and then mark number 4 with the correct unit. Alright, is it clear? Okay, this is the value of D earlier in the question, saying that D is equal 5 meter, right? So V is equal to 5 meter. So means that when you solve this problem just now, here, the value of D already given earlier. Okay, is it clear? Just look at another answer. So here, the first mark is this part, okay, gradient equal AX. Mark number 1. Then we know already AX is the gradient, so masukkan nilai 2.5 from the previous answer. Kan? 2.5 masuk dalam. Like that. Okay, so here is mark number 2. Okay, mark number 3 also here. Okay, for your D, betul. And then your final answer, correct unit, this is mark number 4. Alright, so 4 marks. If ada masalah, tulis dekat bawah. Alright. And the last question is asking about precaution. Okay, so state one precaution for this experiment. So an easy precaution that confirm can get mark will be parallax error. Okay, tulis jawapan like this. Hafal this one. Memorize. Okay, SPM student 2020, please memorize this. You should not miss this mark. Alright, so eyes must be perpendicular. Ingat perpendicular to the reading on the scale of the instrument. Please write the name of the instrument that you use to avoid parallax error. Ejaan parallax, make sure betul. And then in this case, we use meter rule because we measure the length, kan? So we have this one is the length between the two loudspeaker, 1/, right? Then here is the length between the consecutive distance between two consecutive loud sounds. So means that we use ruler. Now, don't simply just write any instrument, okay? So you look at the experiment carefully. If the question, if let's say the experiment is investigating the relationship between time and force, let's say, so time will be in using stopwatch. Katakan ada temperature, so means that here will be thermometer. So be alert. Jangan simply write any instrument, okay? So you need to be rational when you write your answer. Alright, so with this, I really hope you can answer the question. So paper 3 is the paper that can give you a lot of mark. Alright, so should not miss, okay? So try your best and be careful. Alright, be careful. Alright, all the best. See you in next video, inshallah. Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.